Hello, everybody. So for those of you that know me, you know me as Ray. But before I start my speech, I would like to paint a scenario for all of you. Long hours, blood, sweat, and tears put into a goal just for you to get an outcome that was subpar, something that you did not expect to get at all, sometime when you personally failed. Does this story seem familiar to anyone here today? Maybe in a subject, project, or maybe even in a competition? Allow me to share with you one of my recent experiences with this subject. QSkip. For those of you who don't know what QSkip is about, it's basically a mobile food order business which connects the consumer to your favorite vendors and allows you to order food whenever, wherever, conveniently. This application was actually created by me and a couple of my colleagues, whose picture I will show you here. Actually, can this couple of colleagues just stand up and give a quick wave, please, for everybody? Come on, guys. Applaud them. Okay, anyway, I guess some of them are just shy. Okay, anyway, as I said, this company was initially created by me and a couple of colleagues for a competition where we were representing HCIS. To say that we fought tooth and nail for the business would be an understatement. We worked extremely long nights, both on school days and during the holidays while juggling our academics and other commitments. We wrote proposal after proposal after proposal, wrote hundreds of lines of code for our website, and held countless meetings between ourselves and the mentors who were holding our hands throughout the entire process to make sure that QSkip was a huge success to everyone who used the platform. These photos are something that I hold very close to my heart. Now, all of you must be wondering, this is just a photo of a school waffle and a photo of a couple of girls holding a bowl of noodles. What is so groundbreaking about this? These were, in fact, the first ever successful orders that were processed by QSkip. The one on the left was a test by yours truly to make sure that the website that we had spent weeks creating actually worked. The one on the right is the first ever successful order that we have ever received and processed through QSkip. Have you guys ever heard the phrase, everything that can go wrong will go wrong? Well, that was exactly what happened on the day that we launched QSkip. We had tens of orders go missing, vendors who couldn't cope with the large number of orders, 350 to be exact, stalls couldn't process orders, or the website had bugs which shut down the website's portal, as I've shown you above. We had failed to take any of these problems into account, which really caused our system to be faulty and unstable. You know, the funny thing about mistakes and failure is that all of us try our best to avoid them at all times. We never think about the great amount that they can teach us about who we are, what our strengths are, and most importantly, what our weaknesses are and how we can improve them. In my opinion, failure gives us a roadmap to our eventual success. And that's why, instead of trying to run away from it, I try to embrace failure, even though I know it hurts. After my team and I fixed up the system, we sent it online, and it was relatively smooth sailing from there. I mean, we did periodically face a speed bump, but let's be honest, who doesn't? We just took it in our stride and we moved on. We ended the year on a good enough profit to prove that our product really did fill a demand. So we shut shop and prepared for the competition. And boy, did we prepare. Throughout the winter holidays, we worked on wowing the judges through our innate knowledge of the market and by showing how QSkip can meet the market demand. We worked on elaborate proposals to show the best side of QSkip and how it has the potential to change the world. My most memorable moment was when the three of my colleagues and I were preparing for the slides to introduce our product on the competition day. It was in the wee hours of the morning, and we had just wanted to go to sleep, and I still distinctly remember the quote, Ray, I think 14 minutes for the presentation is too long. And I still distinctly remember saying, no, I mean, come on, it's not that long, right? Finally, it was a day that we dreaded. It was the day of the competition. But instead of feeling too bad, we were pumped, actually. We went in there with our heads held high, ready to conquer anything and everything that came in our way. While we were preparing for the presentation, one of the organizers dropped by and told us, it's a nice presentation, guys, but can you finish it in 4 minutes? My heart dropped. I told all of my team members, and we agreed that we would have to do the best we can to rush the presentation. But somehow, and to this day, I still don't know how this happened, but we completely aced the presentation, and it was so good that all the schools and judges got up and gave us a standing ovation in those few minutes. No, I'm kidding. The truth is that we completely bombed that presentation beyond belief. And even though I laugh about it now, A little part of me died that day. We did relatively good for the other two sections, as instead of wallowing in our unfortunate situation, we dusted ourselves off and gave it 100%. I wish this chapter of our story had a better ending, but the truth is that, forget about number one place, we didn't even get into the top three, which is how it is sometimes, you know? Sometimes you just fail, no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears you put into the project. Sometimes it's not meant to be, but hey, that's just life, right? This speed bump is just an indication from the universe that we should just give up. So, whenever we face a speed bump, should we just give up?
Keep going.
Should we?
No.
Exactly. No, we should never give up. When we went to talk to the judges after the competition finished, they said they absolutely adored the product, and there is most definitely a market where our product can thrive. So what if we didn't get top 3? It doesn't define us as a company. So what if you didn't get an A on the test? So what if that project didn't work? It doesn't define you as a person. Keep your effort consistent and constantly tweak your strategy until it's perfect. That's just the way of life. After some time passed, we discussed it, and we decided that as long as one of the 4 of us were still breathing, we will fight to keep the company alive and make sure that QSkip creates a beautiful and long-lasting impact on the world. I want to share with you some of the photos that I feel rightfully convey the journey that we've had. Even though I consider these memories bittersweet, there is no denying that they showcase a learning and, most importantly, a growing journey, something that has shaped me into the person that I am today. And that's why, when all of us stop thinking about failure as the end of the book, rather a burst of motivation and discipline to write a whole new chapter of success. To end off, I would like to remind all of you from this quote from a very famous theoretical physicist, Albert Einstein. Failure, my friends, is just a success in progress. Thank you.